Talking Sports podcast with Peter DiBiasi and John Rocco Trumpbour right here on YouTube. Guys, thank you guys for clicking on this video and joining us for another episode. The reason you guys clicked on this video is because obviously we're going to be breaking down the 2021 NBA draft. But before we do that, Jared, we got some things to say.
Yeah, please don't forget, we are partnered with Manscaped. We got some products. We tried them out. We like them. And use Talking Sports PD to get 20% off on anything online and free shipping. They got cool products there, so definitely check it out if you're interested in any of them.
Yeah, guys, manscaped.com link will be in the description, like Jared just said, 20% off and free shipping. As well as our Instagram, Twitter, and Apple Podcasts will be all in the description. And make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We just also hit YouTube 900 subscribers. So we're almost at 1K, not 100K, 1K. So guys, please, if you click on this video and you're not subscribed, we would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, as well as liking and commenting on this video, as well as following us on Instagram and Twitter. Okay, enough said, guys. There's a reason you guys clicked on this video. You're an NBA fan and you're an NBA draft fan. Also, congrats on the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the NBA championship. Forgot to mention that. Jared and I both picked the Suns. I had them in 6, and you had them in 7. But we got to give them a little quick shout out to Milwaukee. Great championship and well deserved.
Yeah. Giannis, he played very well that game. That whole series. He was insane.
Yeah, this whole series, and especially Game 6. So congrats on the MVP and congrats on the championship. But now we're kind of quickly, because it's so back to back. They're so backed on each other because the NBA draft's about a week and a half away from the end of the NBA season this year, that we're going to be breaking down the NBA draft. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving you guys our full first round mock draft. I know this video is going to be a little longer, so please bear with us and just watch as much as you want, or maybe wait, kind of find where your team is and you can see who we picked. But JR, start the ball rolling. The Detroit Pistons got lucky, won the lottery. They have the number 1 pick. What are they doing?
I think that every mock draft we've seen, they have Cade Cunningham going there, and I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, he's like the prototypical, like 6'8", can handle the ball, can run the point, and he could shoot. So unlike Ben Simmons, he could actually shoot. He's a little smaller than Ben Simmons, but I think that's kind of like his comparison a little bit. He's more of a playmaker. I think out of this whole draft, he has the best frame and the best up. He's going to probably be the best player in this draft. And I think there's no debate. I think he's going first overall.
And yeah, I agree. And before we keep going, I just want to make this clear. This is the draft that we think is going to happen, not what we would do. It's a little bit of combination at some picks probably, but for the most part, it's what we think is going to happen, not what we would do, because it might be a little different. But at number 1, I do have the Pistons taking Cade Cunningham. Like Jared said, he's the clear-cut best player in this draft. Every single mock draft has him going number 1. He kind of reminds me, I like the Ben Simmons comparison, but also like last year's player, LaMelo Ball kind of comparison. Kind of that big point guard that can shoot the ball, that can spread the floor, that can kind of play defense, and he also can guard multiple positions because of his length and his height. I think the Pistons would be stupid for not taking him, and Detroit needs kind of that franchise cornerstone. They really don't have that at all. They're probably the worst roster, them and maybe Houston in the NBA. Pistons need to start somewhere, and that pick's going to be Cade Cunningham, point guard from Oklahoma State. So we agree on that one. Jared, number 2, what do you got the Houston Rockets doing at number 2?
I got the Houston Rockets going with Jalen Green. There's been a lot of stir that the Rockets are very high on Jalen Green. And honestly, Jalen Green's my favorite player in this draft. If my team was in this scenario, I really want them to pick Jalen Green. He's got insane athleticism. He needs to polish his offensive consistency a little more, but I think he's this kind of he fits this new generation of basketball where it's more fast breaks, running the floor, and he's got that athleticism. He could shoot the ball. He's one of my favorite players in this draft, and I think he's going number 2 to the Rockets.
I'm going to agree with you. At number 2, I got the Rockets taking Jalen Green. And guys, if you haven't really heard of him, go look him up on YouTube. Just search up Jalen Green G League highlights. The reason you probably haven't heard of him, or if you have heard of him now, watched him, because he played in the G League. He did not play in college. He decided to hit the G League path, and it's going to work out for him. He's going to be a top 5 pick. We both have him going number 2. But I agree with him. with JR. They really don't. They're like the Pistons. They really don't have a great roster. They have Christian Wood, who I like, and I like Kevin Porter Jr., but you're not running to the door to go watch those guys. Jalen Green, you're going to run to the door to go watch him. He's this clear cut, in my opinion, the second best player, or actually the third best player in this class, in my opinion. I have another player a little ahead of him, but tomato for tomato at that point. But Jalen Green can score, he can defend. He kind of can really do anything. I know they list him at shooting guard. I believe he can play both. I believe he can play kind of that point guard, shooting guard kind of position. I kind of group him as a combo guard, can do whatever the team really needs him to. He might be better off the ball than more of a facilitator because I really don't think he's a true facilitator. But if he wants to play point guard, he's going to be one of those scoring point guards. He kind of reminds me of Zach LaVine. He's just going to be able to score the ball from anywhere on the court. And he can play point guard, but that's not his true position. But Houston would love to have him, and it would be pretty stupid to pass up on him. I got him taking Jalen Green at number 2. JR, Cleveland Cavaliers at 3. What do the Cavs do?
This was a tricky one for me because I could 3 and 4. I feel like could go both ways with the 2 players I have going, but I have the Cavs sticking with Evan Mobley. I know they have Jared Allen. Jared Allen, they give up a first rounder for him too, but I think Evan Mobley is like, you have Colin Sexton. If you're going to trade him, then that's a different story. But I have them keeping Colin Sexton, taking Mobley. He reminds me of like a Chris Bosh type. He's great with shot blocking. And if you could just develop that offensive game and maybe gain a few pounds, he could be that cornerstone center that they need. So yeah, I have them picking Mobley. I think they're going to stick with that rather than going the other way.
Chair, I'm going to agree with you for the 3rd straight pick, and that's what kind of happens at these top of the mock draft boards. As we get on, it's going to become an absolute crapshoot. Evan Mobley at 3, I agree. Look, the Cavs, like you said, they can go the guard direction, and that would be Jalen Suggs at this point in the draft, or they can go the big men, and that'd be Evan Mobley, and they're going to go Evan Mobley, in my opinion. Even though if they trade Sexton, and that's a total different story, and you're going to have to wait and see. They have Sexton, they have Garland. Do they want to pay Jared Allen big bucks? Or could you play Jared Allen and Mobley at the same time and have a huge lineup? Because could Mobley fit in more at the power forward or center? It's kind of up for debate, but Mobley is the best big man in the class by a mile, in my opinion, like true big men in this class. We saw him in the NCAA tournament. He was absolutely dominant around the rim. He reminds me of a skinnier DeAndre Ayton. I think he's great shot blocking. He can really score. I know DeAndre Ayton kind of struggled in the finals, but he kind of reminds me of DeAndre Ayton, and I think Evan Mobley would be a great cornerstone for the Cavs to kind of start getting a lot of young talent on this team and start going in the right direction. Jared, Toronto Raptors at number 4, 2019 NBA championship team picking at number 4. Kind of surprising. What do they do if Kyle Lowry is a big question? They have Pascal Siakam. This team is really up in the air. What do they do at number 4?
Yeah, so with the unsure of Kyle Lowry going to stay, is he going to go be on a different team next season? I have them picking Jalen Suggs, and Jalen Suggs and Mobley could flip-flop depending on what the Cavs do. But I have them picking Suggs because he is the best player on the board at that time, and he fits that team, I feel like. He reminds me of like a Chauncey Billups in a way. Good defense, good offense. He's kind of a leader. So I think that fit on the Raptors is really good. And plus, he's the best player on the board at that time. So, yeah, I have them picking Jalen Suggs.
Jared, I'm going to agree with you again. I think the Raptors decide, you know what? Why pay big bucks to an aging Kyle Lowry at this point? Let him walk. They're not really competing at this point. Keep a young Pascal Siakam. Kind of build around him and Suggs. Kind of start a little bit of the rebuild. You won the championship in 2019, and now kind of hit the reset. And you also have a great coach in Nick Nurse. So I think Suggs is the pick here. He's the best player on the board. I do think he's a better player than Jalen Green, but I don't think it's by a mile. I know you disagree. You're having flip-flop, but I don't think it's a huge difference between either of those two. You guys remember Suggs from the Final Four game against UCLA, that incredible half-court shot to send him to the finals. Obviously, they ended up losing to Baylor. But Jalen Suggs, like Jalen Green, could play the point guard position, can play the 2 guard. I think he fits better at the 2 guard, but can play both. They list him as a shooting guard, but like Green, he can play both. And I think Suggs at this point, why pay Kyle Lowry? Get his replacement in Jalen Suggs. He's the best player left on the board. I have the Raptors taking Suggs at 4. JR, Magic have 2 picks in the top 10. Who do you have them taking at number 5 as you're getting a nice phone call?
Yeah, sorry about that. I have the Magic taking. This is where it starts getting. Every mock draft starts going differently. I have them taking Scotty Barnes from Florida State. He's got that length, that 7 foot wingspan, really good defender. He's elite at that, and I think he has the good playmaking skills that Magic need someone to take control of that team and kind of start playmaking. I think he is really high upside. You know, he's kind of raw right now, but I think he's really high, a lot of potential, and something that the Magic have time. They're not in a win now mode, so they could take some seasons and develop Scotty into the player they kind of want him to be. So he's kind of like a Pascal Siakam to me. Yeah, I think Scotty's gonna go 5.
Jared, once again, for the Magic, I'm going to agree with you at number 5. I'm taking Scotty Barnes. So far, we've agreed on every pick. The reason I'm taking Barnes at 5, if you're the Magic, he does have a lot of potential, and he does have a good upside. Great defender. We did see him in person in the Sweet 16 game against Michigan. That did not go well for him. He did not play well in that game. I do see the potential. He's super, super young. He's 6'8", 6'9", can kind of defend at any position, can dribble. He's kind of like that point forward. He reminds me of Ben Simmons, an exact replica of Ben Simmons, in my opinion. Can he develop an outside offensive game is the big question. Do I trust the Magic to be able to do that? No. Do I think he has the biggest bust potential in this draft? 100%. In my opinion, Scotty Barnes is the biggest bust potential in this draft. I'm not saying I don't like the kid. I don't think he can be. I think he can be really good. But the Magic are going to have to be patient with him, and they're going to take time to develop him. And I agree with you, Jared. The Magic are not in a win now period, so they're going to have time. They're going to take Barnes at 5, and that's going to be a little bit the first shocker in the draft, in my opinion. JR, your Thunder at 6. Who do you have him taking?
So luckily, this is the guy I really like. I'm kind of high on. That's Jonathan Kuminga, the small forward. He's 6'8", 220. He's listed as small forward, power forward, but I think he's more of a small forward in my mind. He's been falling down. He was pretty much a lock, top 5, usually like beginning of the season. But Scotty Barnes kind of jumped him, and I'm happy about that. Honestly, I like this guy a lot. He's got really good athleticism. He's very raw, and that's why I think he started to fall down, because he wasn't as efficient in the G League. But the Thunder got time, like we said. Like we're good at developing guys, so I'm not like worried about that part. So we're a patient team, and I think we could develop him well. I think if he develops that outside shot, that'd be great. I like the forward because Thunder have a lot of guards. There's no big man that I'm taking right now. So yeah, I like Jonathan Kuminga a lot. So I'd be very happy with this pick.
JR, I guess I'm reading your mind. I think the Thunder at Kuminga at 6 is the pick that they're going to go. And that's what I have him. I have the Thunder taking Jonathan Kuminga. Power forward, small forward, like you said. And I do agree. The Thunder are pretty good at developing talent. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has turned into a really nice player, as well as Lou Dort has turned into a kind of a sneaky good player. As obviously, Shai is more of a star, trending to that star direction. But Kuminga is the guy I know you always talked about taking him at 6, and I think the Thunder would be really happy about that. I'd rather have him than Scotty Barnes.
I agree.
100%. Obviously, we both have Barnes going ahead, but that's just not our opinion, more on the sense of what we think is going to happen. But Kuminga at 6, like Jalen Green, go Google him, Jonathan Kuminga G League highlights, because you probably haven't watched him, and it makes sense. He played in the G League, but I think Kuminga is going to be a good small forward. You really don't have that. You have Lou Dort, but he could play he's more of a 2, I think.
Yeah,
you can kind of stretch the floor in that. This is kind of NBA. There's not really positions as much as there really used to be. You can kind of mix and match everything. You need players. You're going to need players to keep developing. And you have 3 first-round picks in this draft. Other 2 come at 16 and 18. Obviously, this is at 6. You're taking Kuminga. That's a no-doubt pick. If Barnes is at 5 and Kuminga sitting at 6, I think the Thunder should be the quickest draft selection ever. Should be running out there to take Kuminga. And I have the Thunder taking Kuminga at 6. Okay, so now we've agreed on the first 6 picks, but I do feel like it might not change here, but we're going to disagree on something, because this is when it becomes a little bit more of a crapshoot. At 7, the Warriors are picking, and this pick is originally from the Minnesota Timberwolves, who lost it in the lottery. So, Jared, who do you have the Warriors taking at 7?
So there's like numerous, yeah, like you said, this is probably where the draft starts. People start going different ways. I got Davion Mitchell going to the Warriors. I think another scoring guard when Curry or Clay aren't on the court, someone who backup point guard basically, really good at defense. I think, and he's like ready now, and that's what the Warriors want. They're in win now mode. And Davion, it's not like you're taking time, but he's on a process. He's like you plug him in, could be like a 6-man right away. So I think that's really intriguing for them. Yeah, so there's different ways that the Warriors go, and we said no trades this mock draft, so I have the Warriors sticking here, and I'm having picking Davion.
I like I like that pick. I don't have it happen, so we're going to disagree on the first time. I'm taking Jalen Johnson at number 7 from Duke, and the reason this pick might be a little controversy, obviously he left college middle end of the year, but the Warriors don't really have that true small forward. I know before we were talking about before that we started recording, we were talking about what the Warriors would do. They trade for kind of a big man, small forward. I think they stick and take Jalen Johnson from Duke. He can score and kind of dribble. Was the best player at Duke this year until he left. High potential, high volume guy. I don't think they go guard because they already have Clay and Curry. And I do love Davion Mitchell, but is Andrew Wiggins a long-term answer? Potentially, but he can also play the 2, come off the bench. And Kelly Oubre is not a long-term potential answer at that position. And I think Johnson can, like Kuminga, can play the small forward and power forward position. And I have the Warriors taking Jalen Johnson, a long, big man that can score and defend and really do anything. And I think the Warriors kind of missed that last year. And I think they get that in Jalen Johnson. Okay, Jared. Number 8, the Magic already picked Scotty Barnes from both of us. This pick is originally from the Bulls, which kind of makes me sad, but you got to move on. Jared, what do you have the Magic doing with their second top 10 pick at number 8?
I have them doubling down with the playmakers and the guards. I have them picking Keon Johnson from Tennessee. He really showed his athleticism in the combine. And like we said before, Magic, not a win now mode. They have time to develop these players. Keon Johnson's very raw, but has very high potential, very athletic, good facilitator, really good at defense. So I think this is a good pick to maybe lead. Like I said, either have Scotty or Keon, 2 playmakers, kind of develop them together. And for the future of the Magic, pairing that with Jonathan Isaac, I think that's probably the best duo they could draft from. And yeah, I got Keon.
Yeah, the Magic are at 8, like you said earlier, and they're kind of a team that not in the win now mode, obviously. So they probably draft for best player available. Whoever the best player available is, you take. And I agree with you. That is Keon Johnson. Shooting guard from Tennessee, like you said, was an absolute freak at the combine. His vertical was insane. Forgot the exact measurements, but
48. I
yeah,
think it's the highest.
that's insane. That's insane because mine would be like a 28 or whatever the heck that awful number would be. But Keon Johnson, freak of nature, was a little streaky at Tennessee, but that's what you get with freshmen. But he's a long shooting guard that can score from any point on the court. And you pair him with Scotty Barnes, and then you got 2 high potential playmakers. And I think that's what the Magic need to do. You take kind of a guy that's not right away to play, kind of a raw player in Keon. But why wouldn't the Magic do that? Trust him to, like I said earlier, to build him right. I don't know because it's the Magic. But Keon Johnson's the pick at 8. Okay, Jared, I feel like we say this every year. Sacramento Kings are back in the top 10 or in the lottery. Who do you have them taking at number 9?
So this pick, like you said, for me, it's like kind of like a Scotty Barnes where this could have really high bust potential, or it could have a good upside for them. I was debating on that Turkish player going here because Marvin Bagley's future is kind of unknown with them. He said he wants out, but who knows what's going to happen. But I'm going to go with Moses Moody, 6'5", 6'4.5". He's got that length. He's got that defense. He could shoot the 3, and he's good at that 3, the small forward position, shooting guard position. I know they have Tyrese and Buddy Hield, but I don't know Buddy Hield's future with them too. I think he could have the highest potential, and that's kind of the risk the Kings have to take at this point. I think he could pair well with De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese. So I have him taking Moody here.
I like that pick. I do like that pick, and I'm really high on Moody. I don't have him go number 9, but I'm really high on Moses Moody from Arkansas. Number 9, I have Corey Kispert, small forward from Gonzaga. They really don't have a small forward. Like, I really can't think of who the heck their small forward is.
Well, yeah, I think it's
Think about it. I really don't know.
Buddy Hield plays sometimes, but
Yeah, but they really don't have a true small forward. They have their point guard, De'Aaron Fox. Marvin Bagley's been an absolute disaster so far. Buddy Hield, does he want to be there long term? I have no idea. Basically, the Kings are a disaster.
yeah, they are.
Go a safe pick here. And I think that's what Corey Kispert is. You went more of the riskier side in Moses Moody, and I went more of the safer side.
Yeah.
Kings need a hit on a lottery pick besides De'Aaron Fox.
They do. They have
They got to hit on a lottery.
Tyrese, good pick.
Oh my God. I forgot about Tyrese. Oh my God. I love Tyrese. Yeah, he's been great so far in his rookie year.
Yeah.
So you have him and De'Aaron. Sorry, they hit on that lottery pick so far. But hit on another lottery pick because you missed so many dang lottery picks.
Yeah,
Corey Kispert at number 9 to the Kings. We saw him at Gonzaga throughout the NCAA tournament throughout the season. He can score the ball. Like, he can absolutely score the ball. He's his sneaky athleticism as well, can really, really shoot the ball from outside. I think the Kings have a guy that can really shoot threes. You pair him with De'Aaron Fox, who's really fast. Him and Fox and Halliburton with Kispert on the floor. That's a dangerous kind of unique lineup that because Fox and Halliburton can really space the floor, get guys involved, and Kispert can knock down shots. I like Kispert at 9 to the Kings.
Yeah, I like that.
Jer, number 10, the Pelicans with Zion, Brandon Ingram. Who do they get at number 10?
Similar to your last pick, I have them going Corey Kispert here. Pelicans, Lonzo's developed as a shooter. But then now there's talks about Lonzo not being on the team anymore. I'm not even thinking about that,
he's
though.
a restricted free agent at this point.
Yeah.
Upcoming season.
But I'm not even thinking about that. But I think they need a Corey Kispert. They had JJ Redick. They just need a shooter on that team. There's very few shooters on that team. Zion can't really shoot. Brandon Ingram, he could shoot, but he's more of like a playmaker. They need like an off the ball shooter, kind of space the floor, get that paint open for Zion so he could dominate that paint. Yeah, I got Corey Kispert going here for reasons like you said. He could score the ball. He's got that size. Yeah, he's just that classic 3-point shooter. He's like that Joe Harris, that Kyle Korver. So yeah.
At number 10, the Pelicans. I like that pick, Corey Kispert, safe pick. I have a guy that you already had going, and I'm surprised he fell number 10, Davion Mitchell.
All right.
You have Ingram, who's kind of like you said, a slasher wing guy. And then you have Zion Williamson, who's been an absolute stud so far in his NBA career. But they haven't obviously broke through into the playoffs. Lonzo Ball's future's up in the air. Bring in a point guard, Davion Mitchell, who was an absolute stud in the NCAA tournament. Davion Mitchell can score, he can shoot, but the best quality Davion Mitchell can do is defend. And he's a pain to play against. You can see in the NCAA tournament how high he picked up guys once they got past half court. Davion Mitchell at number 10, I think the Pelicans would be an absolute steal to take him. You already have him going, rightfully so, at number 7 to the Warriors, because maybe he might not even get past. He's probably not going to get to 10. Yeah. I just have him getting to 10. I think Davion Mitchell at number 10. You get a point guard, you kind of replace Lonzo Ball at that point. There's no need to resign Lonzo. You get Davion Mitchell, and I think he'd be a great defender for the Pelicans.
Yeah, and like you said, like I feel like there's so many players that they can go so high, but then there's also they can fall. You know,
100%.
There's a lot of players like that.
It's a lot of what teams need at this point of the draft. You're going. There's two things. Does a team want to go best player available, or does a team want to go in need?
Exactly.
You got to decide. If you go need, it drops the board a little. If you go best player available, it kind of falls better.
Yeah.
At number 11, Jared, who do you have the Hornets taking?
So I think it's kind of like, I think personally, I think it's a given that they're going to take a big man. Just which big man is going to go off the board besides Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley is clearly the best big man on this draft. And then it kind of drops off a little bit to 3 or 4 others. But big man I have going first is Kai Jones out of Texas, 6'10". I can just see LaMelo throwing lobs up to him right now. Like that guy has athleticism. He reminds me kind of the Jackson Hayes type. But yeah, I can just see LaMelo lobbing up the bridges to Kai Jones. They need that defender and that offensive pick and roll kind of player. So yeah, I like Kai Jones on the Hornets.
I like that pick, and I have Kai Jones kind of going a couple picks later, and I think he's going to be a great player and great potential. I have the Hornets actually not going to big men here. I have them taking. I just don't think the big men are good enough in this draft, like deep enough. I'm thinking Moses Moody. I know he's another guard, and I know LaMelo is a guard, but LaMelo is more of a point guard, and I think Moody would be a great six man for this team. A guy that can come off the bench, can kind of score, and kind of do everything. You're right. He is a lot. He's raw, has high potential. I loved him in college. Can defend as well. That's not his best strong suit, but he can really score the ball. He's going to be a two guard. He's not a point guard from any means.
I agree.
And I just think he's a great mid-range shooter too. He's kind of bringing Arkansas kind of brought back that mid-range game that not a lot of teams play anymore because it's all 3 points. And I think Moody would be a great two guard, either starting at the two or come off the bench for the Hornets. Jared, San Antonio Spurs, who do you have them taking at 12?
So this is a hard pick for me because I haven't watched a lot of this guy, so it's hard to pin him over people. But from what I've heard, he's very good. It's Josh Giddey from Australia. He's a 6'8". He's basically a guard, point guard, shooting guard. I heard his passing is really insane. I got to watch more highlights, but his passing is his best attribute. So I'm thinking more like a LaMelo. I don't know how good he is at shooting, but I just feel like he's a guy for San Antonio. Something Pop can kind of develop kind of in the system. I feel like he's like a system player. If he's developed right, that could be trouble. And I think pairing him up with DeJounte Murray, DeJounte also a passer, but he's more willing to attack the basket. And maybe if you pair these two up, it could be dangerous. So I got Josh Giddey out of Australia. Heard high things about him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have him going here, but I've heard he's supposed to be really good. And I do have him going in a couple picks. At number 12, I have James Bouknight going to the Spurs, the guard from UConn that struggled in his one NCAA tournament game against Maryland, but overall his college career was really good. Is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? We don't really know, but I like him at shooting guard position. They're going to lose DeMar DeRozan. There's no shot he's coming back to San Antonio. It doesn't really fit their timeline. You have DeJounte Murray, you have Lonnie Walker, you have Keldon Johnson, who's been really good this year. So maybe you can kind of pair him, put another two guard, because I don't think Lonnie Walker's all that good at this point. But I do like Keldon and I do like DeJounte. Get another guy kind of can score the ball, and that would be James Bouknight. JR, not the Spurs, excuse me, the Pacers at 13, who had a great year and then kind of fell off towards the end. Who do you have him taking at 13?
I have them going with the guy you had going earlier in this draft, and that's Jalen Johnson. I don't see him going as high as you thought he was going to go. I see him maybe the 12 through like 18 range. But yeah, I like him a lot. 6'9", definitely the best player in Duke before he left. He can handle the ball, and I see him more as a small forward, power forward. That's something the Pacers need, kind of an attacking, athletic player on that team. And I think Jalen Johnson's great for that. He's just another piece for the Pacers team. And I think he's one of the best players available at that spot. So I think I see him going Jalen Johnson.
I like that pick. I know I kind of went a little risky with the Jalen Johnson pick with the Warriors at 7. At 13, I got the Pacers taking the best passer in this draft, in my opinion. That's Sharife Cooper.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I know you like him a lot. I know you really do. You would like him to probably fall to 16, but in my opinion, he stops at 13. I know they have Malcolm Brogdon. I know they do, but you can always use too many guards. And I think Malcolm Brogdon might be better at the 2 position, in my opinion. I really don't think he's a true point guard.
I agree.
I like Sharife Cooper a lot. He's a great facilitator. He's not going to score 25 a game, but he kind of reminds me of like a Lonzo type of Lonzo Ball. A guy that's Rajon. You know what? Rajon Rondo. He reminds me of Rajon Rondo. I'm going to compare him to a player. Obviously, annoying, kind of small guard, bigger than you actually think, but his best attribute is getting other people involved. He reminds me of a guy that's going to average like 13 a game, 12, 13, but average 8 assists.
Yeah.
Kind of be that type of guy that's not going to score a ton, but it's going to really get the team involved. And if you get that at 13 in the NBA, because the lottery and NBA draft's a crapshoot, in my opinion,
Yeah,
then you'd be
it is.
happy. And the Pacers, you help Miles Turner involved, DeMontis Sabonis, Brogdon involved. I think not the Spurs, the Pacers could really use him. So at 13, I got him taking Sharif Cooper. Jared, we're gonna round out the lottery because the lottery ends at 14. Who do you have the Warriors taking at 14?
So here's a guy that like me and you, I know we're not high on at all, but I personally think he's going. Everyone has him going high, and I think
I already know what's coming.
yeah, for some reason I think he's going lottery. And that's Wagner. I'm not big on him. I know you're not big on him. We saw him play. We don't really like what he brings, but he's a versatile defender supposedly, and he could shoot the three ball, which he can. And I think that pairs it well with the Warriors. They need that. You had him going with a forward earlier. I have him going with the forward now. Uh, off the bench, a 3-4 player who could shoot the three, kind of defend, and just I feel like he fits their kind of 3-point game plan, outside threats, space the floor. So I have him going Franz Wagner here.
Jer, I can't stand that guy. I just don't think he's that good. I
Yeah,
really
I don't
don't
think
think
he's
he's
that
that
good
good. At 14, like you said before, I went with a small forward at Jalen Johnson at 7. At 14, I'm going a European guy, Usman Garuba from Spain. Hopefully, I think I said his name right.
I think you did, yeah.
Power forward, center type of guy from Spain. He's Spanish. I think the Warriors at this point, let's go a high risk kind of guy. And let's take a guy that they kind of need kind of a big man. They really don't. They have James Wiseman and Draymond Green, but Draymond Green's aging and his productivity is dropping. Take a guy that's going to come off the bench, not be asked to do a lot in his career. And I bet you 2 years down the road, he'll be a pretty good NBA player. He's not going to be a guy that's right away. I don't want to come out here and claim that I've watched a lot of Usman Garuba because I haven't. I really haven't. But what I've read, he can defend, he can stretch the floor, he kind of can shoot and also play down low. So I think Usman Garuba will be good project for the Warriors because he's not going to be an impact player right away. JR, we're done with the lottery. 15 through 30. Now this is when we start picking it up a little because we don't have to go so in depth on the non-lottery. 15. Who do you have the Wizards taking?
Well, I've been watching the Wizards a lot because Russ is on the team, so taking a little personal interest in them. I got them taking James Bouknight. They're in dire need of a off the bench scorer. No one else really could score the ball besides Russ and Brad Beal. No one else is really a playmaker. So I have them taking Bouknight. He's going to be like a Jordan Clarkson in that offense. I feel like they need that third option. They need that third option desperately. They need someone else.
I like that pick. And the Wizards, I already went James Bouknight. I'm going, they have the two scoring guards in Russell and Beal. I'm going a big man. And I'm going Kai Jones, power forward from Texas. You already had him going earlier, a couple picks before. Who'd you have him going to? San Antonio?
No, I had him going to Charlotte.
Charlotte, thank you. Sorry. Kai Jones, power forward from Texas. The big guy we thought coming out of Texas would be Greg Brown. He didn't have the best of year, but Kai Jones, Jared, high potential guy. And I think the Wizards don't really have a big man. I know they have David Bertans, but it's David Bertans. Kai Jones, I like Kai Jones. I think he has a high potential, high floor guy. Kind of can stretch the floor, kind of can do a lot. Really athletic guy. And I think Kai Jones will be perfect fit outside of the lottery with the Wizards at 15. JR, the Thunder's 16th pick. This is originally from the Boston Celtics. Who do you have them going at 16?
Yeah, I've been flipping and flopping that pick this whole morning. But I have them going the Turkish player, Alperen Sengun.
Fancy.
Yeah, like Thunder got a lot of time. We're good at developing players. He reminds me of like a Sabonis in a way, a Vucevic. And I feel like if we could just develop him and, make him that Sabonis of our offense or something like that. We need a big man. We really have no big man right now. So that's why I'm going with this pick. We need someone in that paint.
Nice. I like that pick. The Thunder at 16, this is from Boston. I'm not going to go too in depth because obviously you went in depth because it's your team. I am taking Josh Giddey, shooting guard from Australia. Would you like that pick at 16?
I feel like Josh Giddey's someone who likes the ball in his hand a lot. So personally, no. But
okay. I do think he can play the point kind of and play off. Him and Shai can kind of balance each other because, like you said, Josh Giddey was more of a passer. Like that's his strong suit.
Yeah.
I think get Shai more involved kind of play off the ball a little and kind of get him in space. You already went Jonathan Kuminga, so I don't think you're going to go that type of position. I have Josh Giddey. At this point, you're probably taking best player available. And I think 16, Josh Giddey will be that best player available. Okay, 17, Jared, what do you got the Memphis Grizzlies doing, who made a surprise playoff push with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr.? Who do you have going to 17?
I got the Memphis Grizzlies taking Usman Garuba, the power forward center out of Spain. He's kind of like that. He's defense. He's going to block shots. If they could develop his offense, that's great. Pairing him with Jaren Jackson and Jonas Valanciunas, so he'll be the big man coming off the bench. Because when Jaren Jackson was hurt, Memphis, they struggled a little bit down low. And I don't think Jaren Jackson performed. I mean, he was hurt, so he didn't perform to what we thought he would be. But yeah, I got Usman Garuba pairing him up with those two other bigs.
He has the best name in the draft. Usman Garuba is my favorite name. 17, I have the Grizzlies taking my favorite player in the draft, and that's Franz Wagner. And that was sarcastic. Look, guys, I think this guy, teams love him. High potential guy, can score the ball, they say. They like him. I don't know why. I really don't like him. We saw him play in person. We went to the Sweet 16, both of us, Florida State, Michigan game. Michigan won that game handily, but it wasn't because of Franz Wagner. I just didn't think he played well in the tournament. I really didn't. And I know we're bashing on this kid, and he might be good, but I don't think there's any need for him to go in the lottery. I know you have him going in the lottery, but not because you want him to go in the lottery. 17, the Grizzlies, you know what? Let's take a flyer on this kid. Teams like him, and they see a potential in him. I don't, but I got the Grizzlies taking him at 17. Okay.
I can see the Grizzlies having him. Like, I see that fitting well, too.
Why not? Like, at that point, why not? Moving on to the Thunder's third and final pick in the first round. That's at 18. This pick came originally from Miami via the Clippers, via Philly, and then via Phoenix. So that was fun. I don't know how that order actually worked out, but that's what I'm reading. Jared, who do you have the Thunder taking at 18 in their third and final first round pick?
This is a guy not many people know, I don't think. But I have him taking Trey Murphy out of Virginia. He's kind of like a 3-and-D type of player. And I think that fits well. I'm trying to like hammer the small forwards, the forward position, because that's something we lack. We have guards. I just picked the big man. So I'm trying to get the middle worked out. So I think Trey Murphy's a good fit. He's not someone many people know, but I think he can develop well and be a really good role player for a team.
I like that pick. I don't actually have him going in my first round, which might be surprising. Obviously, this end of the draft kind of gets a little. Some players don't. But so far, I have the Thunder taking Kuminga, and then I had them taking.
G'day.
Josh Giddey. Thank you.
Giddey.
Or G'day. We'll find out on draft night. I am taking a center, De'Aaron Sharp from UNC, and I know you're giving me that look, and I'm loving the pick. And I'm not saying I'm loving it either, but I think at this point he's the best center available, maybe outside the Turkey guy who I didn't have going yet. But you really don't have a true center on your team, in my opinion, as Jared. Man, the calls are coming in.
Yeah, I mean,
no worries. This is what happens when you record live. Nothing you can do about it, guys. De'Aaron Sharp, I had them taken at 18, a center. They really didn't hit the center position in the draft. They went guard for me and then a small forward. I think De'Aaron Sharp is an interesting kid, and I think he has a huge high potential. But I do think he's kind of just going to be like that rim protector, little scorer center. Not going to be a superstar out of UNC, but he had a nice year. So I have De'Aaron Sharp going 18 to the Thunder.
I like the center pick. I actually don't have Sharp going in my first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need a center. One of these picks.
Okay, the Knicks have 2 picks in this draft, 19 and 21. What do you have him taking at number 19?
At number 19, I have him taking that point guard from Auburn, Sharif Cooper.
Ooh.
I think it's a perfect fit for them. They need some. Julius Randle's he's a point forward, but they need someone else taking up the ball. They need someone else facilitating the offense, as we saw in the playoffs. Hawks were all over Julius Randle. They need someone else to control the ball and be the calm like Chris Paul for a team. I kind of like him like a Chris Paul, less of a scorer, but yeah, I got Sharif Cooper. I think he's one of the best point guards in this draft class. I know I'm high on him. I think he's a good fit for this New York offense.
Jared, I went point guard position at 19 for the Knicks. I already Sharif Cooper's already off the board for me. I've taken Jaden Springer, point guard from Tennessee. I'm really high on this kid. I know not a lot of people are. I know Keon Johnson was much better than him, but I like Springer. I think he brings an athleticism and a good passing ability that can get Emmanuel quickly involved, that can get RJ Barrett involved, that can get Julius Randle involved, and Mitchell Robinson as well. And I think the Knicks are building something here, clearly are doing a really good job there. I don't think Derrick Rose is a long-term fit there, even though he was their best player in their playoff run by
I
far.
agree. I
By
agree.
far, Derrick Rose was. And you know how much I love Derrick Rose. I don't think he's a long-term answer there. And obviously not because he's not good, just because of his age.
Age.
They're going to want to get a young point guard. Even if they bring back D Rose for another year, that could be Jaden Springer at 19. And I think he fits perfectly with what the Knicks are doing. Not a veteran guy, but going to be an experienced guy, physical caliber guy, played in big moments at Tennessee. So I got 19 going. Knicks going Springer, point guard from Tennessee. JR, who do you have? Atlanta, who made a surprise playoff push to the conference finals. Who do you have him taking at 20?
Well, I like Springer too, and I have him going to Atlanta here. I feel like Atlanta is very in depth with the shooting guard to small forward, power forward position. I know John Collins might not come back, but it might they not. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen there? I think he's coming back. I just see them picking a point guard, backup Trae Young, like say if Trae Young gets hurt again or something like that. And I think Jaden Springer is going to learn under him and be that really good number 2 point guard.
I like that pick. And my pick at Atlanta is kind of predicting that John Collins is going to leave eventually. I've been taking a power forward, Isaiah Jackson from Kentucky. Isaiah Jackson, Kentucky was a whirlwind this year. They were doing some crazy things down in Lexington, but Isaiah Jackson was their best player. And I do think he kind of is going to be, I don't think he's going to be John Collins, but I think he's going to be a really good defender. And even if they don't lose John Collins, you always need backups. And I think at this point in the draft, if you can get good backups, then you're it's a hit. And I think that's exactly what Isaiah Jackson will be, coming from an NBA program, basically, with John Calipari in Kentucky. Okay, 21, the Knicks. This pick was originally from Dallas Mavericks. Jared, what did the Knicks do with their second and final first-round pick at 21?
I think they capitalized more on the offense and the guard position. And I think they're taking one of the best scorers in this draft, Cam Thomas from LSU. I just think they need Julius Randle, phenomenal this year, but they need a number 2 scorer. RJ is not the scoring type. He's more of a playmaker. He'll hit some buckets, but Cam Thomas off the bench or starting. I think he's a great scorer, one of the best in the draft. And I think the Knicks, this would kind of be a steal for the Knicks if they could land Cam Thomas. A perfect fit to me.
I like that pick a lot. And I do have Cam Thomas going a little farther down in the draft. And I love Cam Thomas. I loved him in college. I think he's going to be an absolute stud in the NBA. I really do think so. 21 of the Knicks taking Herbert Jones, small forward from Alabama. I know you definitely did not have him in your draft. Know that expression. Yeah, this is a little bit of a flyer, in my opinion. He was their best player in Alabama. Nate Oates is great at developing. I love Nate Oates from Alabama, originally from Buffalo. And I think Herbert Jones is kind of the safe pick at small forward. This is not going to be flashy. And I think Herbert Jones will have a really good bench career. Not going to be a star from any point, I think. I think Herbert Jones is a nice little safe pick. Can score the ball, can defend the ball. He can really do kind of anything you kind of want to. I read that he's really coachable and all that stuff. So I think Herbert Jones will fit right under Tom Thibodeau. So I got him going 21 to the Knicks. JR, Lakers, 22. What do they do?
Like you said, I feel like at this position in the draft for a winning team like the Lakers, who are win now mode, you're picking pieces that are you could just plug in right away. And I think Jared Butler is a perfect fit for that. He's really good at he's an ultimate 2-way player. Great off the bench. Who knows shooters hit future with the Lakers, but they need that off the bench guard, someone that could just plug in. He reminds me of like a Josh Hart in a way, something like that. He's a great role player in my mind. I think he's a perfect plug and play type of player for the Lakers.
Nice. I like the pick. 22, I got the Lakers taking Jared Butler.
That's who I have, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I meant to say as well. Sorry. Man, you're blanking something. Yeah, Jared Butler, point guard from Baylor. I agree with everything you just said. And I do think at this point the Lakers need guards. Is Dennis Schroeder a future guard? No. And I think Jared Butler had a great college career. He's going to be like a veteran player. I like the Josh Hart comparison. He also
Yeah.
reminds me, I got a better comparison. I got Jalen Brunson.
All right. I still like Josh Hart better, but I see what.
Okay. I just think Jared Butler, great college career. Obviously, David Mitchell, better NBA player, but Jared Butler, better college career. Hopefully Jared Butler with that, I think it was a heart condition has is all cleared up. Hopefully it's all cleared up. If it's not, then obviously that's gonna be a little different. But I think Lakers at this point go a guy that can play right away. Like a guy that can play right away, not a raw potential guy. That's Jared Butler. Not a high ceiling, but doesn't have a lot of bust potential. Jared, 23. The Houston have back-to-back picks. So you know what? We'll go back-to-back. You give me Houston's 23 and give me Houston's 24. The 23rd from Portland and the 24th from Milwaukee.
I have the Rockets going with someone that kind of you might not even have in your first round. No one's really known about him after high school, but Daishawn Nix. He didn't go to college. He went to the G League, and he didn't really capitalize on that. It probably hurt him more than it helped him. So no one even probably knows about him anymore, but he was really highly recruited out of high school. I still think he averaged like 8, 5, and 5 on the Ignite team. And I think he's playing against better competition, gave him a chance to, I guess it probably hurt his draft stock because people thought he'd do better than that, but he was only getting 20 minutes a game or so. And I still think he's good talent. I still think he should be a first round pick. And I think Rockets are they have time. They have really nothing going on there right now. They're pretty bad. So I have him going to the Rockets first Rockets pick.
And then who do you have him taking at 24?
Oh, at 24, I have them going with Isaiah Jackson. Pair him up with Wood, get another big man. All you said about Isaiah Jackson, I agree with. He's very versatile, athletic. So yeah, I have them going Daishawn Nix and Isaiah Jackson.
I like it. At 23, I have a guy you already took, Alperen Sengun, center from Turkey. Look, you have Christian Wood. Now you have Jalen Green. You have Kevin Porter. But get another big man. And I think you hit on Alperen Sengun. Jared and I did not watch a lot of him. I'm just going to put that out there. But what I've read, high potential guy, high ceiling. So I like him at 23. At 24 from Houston, I'm taking Kessler Edwards. I don't know if you had him in your top 30. Small forward from Pepperdine.
No, I have not. I did not.
He can score the heck out of the basketball. And I think he's going to be a huge flyer. I think Houston kind of takes kind of a little bit of a risky. I believe he can score the ball, unless I totally got that wrong. But I've read he can score the ball. I only watched him every time they played Gonzaga. I'm not watching Pepperdine games.
Yeah.
But Kessler Edwards, small forward from Houston, I think they add another scorer, kind of wing kind of guy at 24. Jer, who do you have the Clippers taking at 25?
I have the Clippers taking Chris Duarte from Oregon. Someone else who's kind of a plug and play because you're in win now mode. He's an extra guard to have because when Kawhi was out, it was just really Paul George and Reggie Jackson and a little bit of Marcus Morris carrying that offensive load. So you get another scorer like Chris Duarte. If he could start increasing that defense and the playmaking, that would very help. But they don't really need it because they have a ton of playmakers on that team. So I think he's kind of a good fit for that team.
I like that pick. And Kessler Edwards did average 18 points per game in college, or 17 and a half. So he could score the ball. And that's actually that's pretty high in college.
Yeah.
25 that the Clippers taking a guy that maybe before the season we thought could be a potential lottery pick. That's Zaire Williams, shooting guard from Stanford. Man, he has absolutely fallen in kind of his draft. He was injured throughout most of his college career, wasn't that productive. But I feel like the Clippers at 25, you know what? High potential guy. He was injured a lot, so we didn't really get to see a lot of him. Super high recruit, 5-star recruit. Clippers were like, you know what? There was a reason he was a projected lottery pick to start the year.
Yeah.
Why not take a flyer on him? And that's exactly what they do at 25. They take Zaire Williams, guard from Stanford. Jared, what do you got the Nuggets doing at 26?
I have them doing the same thing you just said. I have them picking Zaire Williams. They took a risk on Michael Porter. He's supposed to be a top pick. He fell. They took him. Looks like it's panning out. I think they're doing the same here again with Zaire Williams. They just need those extra players on their team. They have good roster, so they could take chances. And I think Zaire could either be a bust or work out.
Yeah, always fun. Bust or work out.
Yeah.
26, I get the Nuggets taking just a guy that can flat out score the ball. You already had him. You already said he's the best scorer in the draft. That's Cam Thomas.
I say he's one of the best.
Okay, sorry. One of the best. Man, but he can't score. Go watch his college highlights. Oh my God, that kid can score. Freshman from LSU, Cam Thomas. I think Denver kind of takes the best player available at this point, and that's Cam Thomas. And I do think they have Jamal Murray come back from an injury. They need more scores. They have Porter, Jokic. Let's get another score. Guy that's going to be a great off the bench. He could be a future six man of the year award winner. I really do see him as like a Lou Will.
He's like a prototypical six man, yeah.
Yeah, Lou Will, Jordan Clarkson. Like you said, Jordan Clarkson, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You compared him to like a great scorer that comes off the bench. I think Cam Thomas is exactly that. Okay, Jared. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us for the whole pick. We have 4 more picks to go. We got 27, 28, 29, 30. If you stayed with us to this long of this video, wow, that was hard to get out. If you stayed this long to the end of this part of this video, guys, make sure you drop a comment, like, and subscribe. JR, let's finish the final 4. 27. Who do you have the Nets taking?
I got the Nets. They lost Jared Allen. They have DeAndre Jordan. I have them doubling down on a center, young center. They have a lot of guards, so I'm not worried about that. But I'm going Charles Bassey from Western Kentucky. He averaged 18 and 12. I think he's gonna get those boards for you. They don't need as much scoring, but he's 6'10", I believe. So I think that's 6'11". So I think it's the big body in there that they need to defend the other team's big man. So yeah.
I like that pick. And I'm going a big man type of guy, power forward, a guy that they're taking a flyer on, an absolute flyer. That's Greg Brown.
All right. I can see that. I can see that.
Why not? Look, Greg Brown, can he score from the outside? And not really. Can he like really score in general? No.
Can he dunk the ball? Yes.
Yes, he can dunk the ball. Greg Brown, why not take him at 27? Like, why not?
I like that pick. I didn't think.
Why not? Dude, one, he'll get a house of highlights frequently when he's playing because, man, he can dunk the ball. And 2, if you can somewhat develop somewhat of an outside game, you just got an absolute steal at 27. So why not take him? The Nets are not trying to find a player that can win them a championship. At this point, the only thing that can win them a championship is if they stay healthy. They stay healthy, they're going to win a championship.
I could also see him taking a player that's like we said, they're on a winning team.
Like Jared Butler.
Yeah, like Jared Ayo DeSumo's out there, you know.
Yes, okay, true. Yeah, you could either go a player that's going to help right now, or if the Nets are like, you know what? Our team just needs to stay healthy. The only way to win a championship. Why not take Greg Brown? Because potentially in 2 to 3 years, if he develops somewhat of an outside game, he'll be really good. I love Greg Brown. I really do. I think
I liked him a lot too.
High worker, super athletic, and dunk the ball. He reminds me of Giannis kind of coming out of college. He's not going to be Giannis at all, but you can kind of see him like that type of frame. Okay. 28, Jared, the Sixers. Who do you have him taking?
I have the Sixers taking a point guard, and that's Nashawn Highland from VCU. He could score the ball. Very athletic, good frame, 6'3" for a point guard. Who knows who's going to have him with Ben Simmons? I like Ben, I'm going to be honest, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stay at Sixers or he's going to leave, but I got him taking a point guard just in case, taking another guard. I think they have enough big men. They got Dwight, they got Joel, they got Tobias. So I think they're fine on that end. Take another guard, back up. He could shoot. So something like that. Yeah, I'm taking the Sean Highland.
28, I got the Sixers taking a point guard as well. I got taking David Johnson, point guard from Louisville, not the running back. And then ruined fantasy teams for so many years. David Johnson, you probably haven't really heard a ton of him. Best player at Louisville this year under Chris Mack. Can score the ball, can kind of do a lot. Not going to be a superstar, but with the situation with the Ben Simmons, knows is he on the roster, not going to be on the roster. David Johnson maybe the future point guard from the Sixers. I don't know, but I think they go point guard. It's going to be a crapshoot who they take. You have him taking Nashawn Highland. I have him taking David Johnson. 29, JR, the Suns, who just lost their heartbreaker in 6 NBA championship. Who do they have him taking?
I have the Suns. We were talking about this guy before we started recording. I'd say Isaiah Todd. A lot of people, he didn't go to college. He was supposed to go to Michigan. A lot of people forgot about him. He didn't capitalize, like we said. Kind of G League maybe it hurt him more than it helped him, although he got paid. But we were saying like we would like to see him play in college, see him how that playing in the college and how that would affect his draft stock. I still think he's good. He's 6'10", he's athletic. And we saw from the Suns, Aiden can't guard Giannis. They need an athletic. Now, I'm not saying they're picking him just because of Giannis, but like in theory, they need someone who's going to be able to guard a long, lengthy power forward, as big and strong as Giannis, because that's what the game's developing into. So I think Isaiah Todd, if they could develop him in more of a defense style, I think that could help him.
I like that pick. I have the Suns taking Brandon Boston Jr., guard slash forward from Kentucky. He had an up and down year, huge high recruit, 5-star. But I do think he can be really good. I do think, do they need another guard? Maybe not. But at this point of the draft, you take best player available, and I think Brandon Boston Jr. is the best player available. Like Greg Brown, high potential lottery pick to start the year.
Yeah.
And kind of just had an up and down struggling year at Kentucky. Didn't shoot particularly well. So maybe the Suns have a year or two to fix that. And I don't think they're going to draft a guy that's going to be an impact player at this point right away. So I think Brandon Boston Jr. would be a great pick. Jared, Utah, finishing the draft at 30. Who do you got?
This is a weird pick for me. I didn't think he was going to be a first-round pick. I mean, he still might not be, but I think it fits well. I got Jeremiah Robinson Earl. He kind of reminds me like the Derek Favors type of that. Jazz have like a slow pace, not a slow pace, but they have like this old school type of style roster. I think he fits in well with that. He'll be that Derek Favors role under Derek Favors, or if Derek Favors decides to leave. So I think, I mean, I don't see any other picks that really stood out to me. So I'm going Robinson Earl because I could just see it work.
I like that pick. And number 30, I have a guy you already took, Chris Duarte.
Okay.
Shooting guard from Oregon. I think he can flat out score the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point, he's a veteran guy from Oregon. He's been there for a couple of years, can really score the ball from any point of the court. Why not take a polished scorer? I think they're going to kind of go like the Lakers path, a guy that can impact right away.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Duarte could be great off the bench. And I think they need more scorers at this point. And I think Chris Duarte will be the pick at 30. Guys, if you stuck this along in the video, hopefully you did. Comment down below, who do you have your team taking in this draft? Jared, anything you got to say before we say goodbye?
Yeah, we've probably forgot a lot of top talent players. So, I mean, comment someone we missed. Comment if we missed someone that's going in the first round, or you don't have anyone going in that first round that we picked. Yeah, we'd like to hear your feedback and let us know.
Yeah, guys, make sure you manscaped.com, 20% off, free shipping on anything in the store. Code will be in the bio. Talking Sports PD. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also, if you want to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, that will also be in the description. So subscribe and listen. Guys, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Road to 1K continues, almost there. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this was the Talking Sports Podcast with Peter DiBiasi and John Rocco Trumpbour. Have a good rest of your day.